And having our leaders prepared and ready to receive these great candidates as they come in is going to help with our retention rates across the entire organization and across the entire marketplace.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
You guys today have a very devices race going on today,
Yes. Yes.
That's why we are so split. And so tell us, what are I have actually a program, that calls Entrepreneurs are Leaders. So let's talk about, do you believe, Kevin, that entrepreneurs needs to be leaders in order to grow the company? And what's your take on that?
Absolutely, they do, because leadership is all about interacting and working with people, right? Having good conversations, listening, understanding what makes them tick. What are their interests? What are their skills? What are their abilities? What are they really good at? That's really the heart and soul of what leadership is all about. So as an entrepreneur, someone who's running a business, whether it's a product or whether it's a service, we're always dealing with people. Stakeholders, customers, employees, 1099 contractors. And so people are always within our sphere of influence. And so it's very, very key and very, very important. And part of your question around this leadership issue that presents a lot of global problems that we have, well, all the evidence is very clear. There's a big gap between what people are looking for in leaders and what leaders are
100%.
actually delivering.
100%. I agree.
Yes. So education, development, that's all part of the journey. You said, you asked entrepreneurs, well, what should I have done, or what could I have done better? Well, I always tell people, taking time for personal and professional development ourselves, investing in education and learning about our craft is very, very helpful as we go forward. And that's also an extension of leadership, because we're always dealing with people, and it's very, very important to understand.
And now we're going to talk a little bit deeper about the leadership, because there is a concept that I want to discuss with you. Yeah. I love a topic. My organization, the name is Speakers and Leaders. So I love the topic of leadership a lot. Yeah, especially because everybody wants to be speaker, nobody wants to be a leader. Everybody wants the glory, but no one to take the responsibility, right?
Right. They think speaking is easier than leadership.
But in order to become a great speaker, you have to be a leader. You have to be able to touch, move, and inspire the audience.
Yes. Yes.
I think that we are looking for the spotlight, for everybody clapping like us, from 2,000 people, for the moment of glory. But actually, we're not willing to do what type of person we have to become to make that to happen. And the type of person that we have to become is, and it's in business, probably in politics. Today's U.S. election, this show is about entrepreneurship, but it's showing up everywhere, right? Because there are some leaders that hold to a position of power, yeah. But the completely different is people who lead, and then in companies you have two choices, yeah. There are some entrepreneurs out there, yeah, CEOs, that they hold to this company with that ego and the position of power. I am the boss. Everybody has to do what I say. And so the whole company, the whole purpose of the company is to feed the ego and to feed that persona that he created, and needs a lot of people to validate that he's good. And this is how the company is structured. Yeah. The other type of company is the company like my one at the beginning, where when I started to hire the employees, they were also better than me and everything, that one day I arrived to the office and they told me, Harry, we don't need you. Go home. We can run this company without you. And I realized that type of by accident, I didn't generate employees. I generate leaders within the organization to the point that they send me home. They tell me, we take leadership and responsibility for this company. We take responsibility for everything. We can actually run this without you, Harry. We don't need you. Most of them were women, by the way, right? And the first day that I feel like that, it was a little bit strange. I was thinking, did I do a good thing here or a bad thing here? Did I get sacked from my own company? This is a bad thing. And after reflectively big Kevin, I realized that this is good, that this is amazing. That what if you can start from a leadership position and you can touch and inspire the people in your organization, they can continue become leaders themselves, yeah? And they actually don't need you anymore. You become obsolete in your own organization because you prepared those people. But for that, you have to give up your ego. You have to be okay saying that people are better than you. And I think this is where we find the conflict, Kevin, between leaders and people who want to lead. So what's your view on this? It's happening in politics also, yeah?
Yeah, it does. It does. It has a lot to do, Harry, with men and women who are in leadership positions who are equipped and developed to be there, and those who aren't. Because again, we may have the title and we may have the position, and people know that you're an authority. So you don't have to remind them that you have the power and you have the authority. But if you do, then you're the type of leader that hasn't really been adequately prepared and developed for the role.
I agree 100%.
And if you come across as more authoritative and mandating and dictating and threatening versus asking or providing guidance
or enrolling,
exactly, it makes a big difference. And here's what's really interesting about it: the people that are following you know the difference as well. And they're the ones that are going to end up leaving, because if you're not leading them well, if you're not providing resources, if you're not developing them, if you're not recommending training opportunities, if you're not delegating
and capacity for growth,
over time, they're going to vote with their feet. In other words, they're going to leave and they're going to find a better opportunity. So that's the difference between the two.
Even for companies. Yeah. Now you start to spend a lot of money, because now you need to hire people again, trade them again.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive exercise, right?
Absolutely. So our human resources professionals are doing us a great service by doing the work that they do to recruit the best and talented pool that's out there in the marketplace. And they bring them in and they interview them and they give them a thumbs up and they present an offer letter and they report to duty and they go through orientation and then they land on our team. And if we're not prepared as leaders to lead them, then eventually they're going to leave. And now our retention rates are out of whack. And our human resource professionals have to start the process all over again. So it's definitely a team sport. We all work together as a team, and having our leaders prepared and ready to receive these great candidates as they come in is going to help with our retention rates across the entire organization and across the entire marketplace. But leaders have to be taught. They have to be developed. They have to be trained. You can't just assume because someone is in a leadership position that they really understand the responsibility.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.